Yes, welcome back everybody to Altcoin Daily. My name's Austin. What is it going to take, realistically, for the Bitcoin price to reach new all-time highs? In today's video, that's exactly what I want to discuss. We will look at a series of charts, as well as fundamental metrics, plus discuss the latest altcoin news that you need to know as an investor. So, like always, check the timestamps down below. Don't forget to smash that like button. And before we talk about where we're going, let's zoom in and talk about where we are with Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin just highlighted another major week full of major trading volume. Between the top 8 largest non-stable coins, the past 7 days were the second largest total trading volume since BTC's all-time high, only trailing the massive dip week in early May. So here is that chart showing the trading volume among the top assets, as listed here, just had the second largest week of volume since November all-time high. And to put this into perspective, this was that November BTC at 69K, massive, many weeks of trading volume spike that we saw. We actually hit our highest trading volume just a few weeks ago back in May. That's when that massive dip happened. And we've just hit our second highest this week. So what does this mean to you? Well, in the very most simplistic terms, it means BTC is trading hands. People are selling, and of course, people are buying. For every seller, there's a buyer. For every buyer, there's a seller. We need more information. Well, next up, what are the miners doing? Bitcoin miners have been net distributors, unfortunately, since the recent sell-off. Miners' balances have recently declined at a peak rate of 5K to 8K BTC per month. That's around 150 million to 240 million BTC declining per month. Now, their spending habits have slowed this week to only 3.3K BTC per month, but point is, the miners have chosen to take some profits. Here is that chart, Bitcoin miner net position change, either in the positive or in the negative. So this is the most we've seen since, and it doesn't quite compare, but it's the most we've seen since the run-up to that first peak in March of 2021. Good news would be is the spending has slowed. The trend seems to be reversing. Again, we need more time and information. But if it continues to slow, then this will reduce the bearish pressure a little bit, which I like. Give me your thoughts on this down below. And the final chart I do want to show you before we talk about what it's going to take for BTC to reach new all-time highs. This final chart is more bullish. While the miners have been taking profits, there are some institutional players buying their bags. As we've been discussing on this channel, it's been interesting to see sustained inflows to the Canadian Purpose Spot Bitcoin ETF. They've now added 11,350 BTC in the last 30 days, the most aggressive increase yet. So they've been aggressively adding Bitcoin to their fund. Again, I think this speaks to the sort of discrepancy in the market. Where are we headed in the short term is a mystery. Now, moving forward, let's talk about what it's going to take for Bitcoin new all-time high. And I do think that is a couple years away. I gave my thoughts on where I think Bitcoin is headed this year in this video, Bitcoin or Ethereum, which one's better in 2022. I also gave my thoughts on Ethereum for this year. This is linked down below. Seek it out, check it out, highly recommend. But in the grand scheme of things, one of the catalysts for Bitcoin pump that always has been, always will be, is the Bitcoin halving. While there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin in existence ever, the last one won't be mined for over 100 years from now. The majority have already been mined, but the last one, we still have over 100 years. So every 10 minutes, roughly, a new Bitcoin block gets mined. And back from 2009 to 2012, 50 BTC came into existence every 10 minutes. That got cut in half in 2012 to 25 BTC. That got cut in half 4 years later to 12.5 BTC. And then the last Bitcoin halving we saw was back in 2020, where the block reward again got cut in half to only 6.25 BTC per block. The next one happens in 2024 in about 742 days, where the block reward will decrease from 6.25 to 3.125 coins approximately. Now, you've heard this, you know this. Why does this matter? Well, to calculate price for any asset, it's just supply and demand. If demand just stays the same, if no more people come onto the Bitcoin network, if demand just stays the same, but then the supply faucet gets cut in half, price goes up. Price goes crazy. We've seen that over and over and over again. This is one of the known catalysts for the growth of the Bitcoin network. And it doesn't happen on that day, right? It usually happens, we peak out usually around 12, 16, 18 months later. For example, in 2020, it happened. And then almost literally 12 months later, we topped out. The next halving is happening in March of 2024. As of now, this could vary slightly. If nothing else, this will be the main catalyst. And by the way, price is going to go up if demand just stays the same. But from everything we're seeing, demand's only increasing for a censorship-resistant, permissionless, non-debasable money. Now, what else could be a catalyst for a new all-time high? Well, another obvious one is the Fed printing money. They're not stopping. It's only becoming easier and easier for them to turn on the printing press. This is a visualization of the purchasing power of the US dollar over the last century, right? We know 40% of the money supply that was ever been printed ever happened in the pandemic of 2020. This chart isn't even updated to that, but they've been devaluing the dollar for the last 100 years. So a $100 bill in 1913 is worth pennies today. It is worthless essentially today because they keep printing. How this affects you is, while the price of one Bitcoin may be worth less 5-10 years from now, the US dollar is guaranteed to be. So in summation, I think the two main catalysts will either be the next Bitcoin halving, like always, or a massive Fed print, again like always, although that one probably won't be in the near short term because they're kind of trying to curb inflation this year. By the way, quick shout out to sponsor of the channel, the FTX App, a fully regulated exchange with fees up to 85% cheaper than competitors. Sign up with our link down below and get up to $100 in crypto with Altcoin Daily. Use our promo code, link down below, take advantage. Moving forward, what's happening with altcoins? The Injectives Labs ecosystem now officially supports Polkadot native assets, allowing Injective to be the primary gateway for cross-chain Polkadot assets to enter the Cosmos universe. So this is a huge step for interoperability. And how were they able to do this? This integration will be made possible by Moonbeam, an EVM-compatible smart contract platform for Polkadot. In addition, Alexar will act as an interoperability network that facilitates the bridging process behind the scenes. Of course, for the end user, they'll see none of that, but this is thanks to Moonbeam and Alexar. And essentially what this means, this integration of Polkadot native assets positions Injective into becoming the primary gateway for Polkadot assets to enter the interchain Cosmos universe. A diverse array of dApps on Injective can now provide new functionalities unlocked by Polkadot native assets. For example, exchange dApps built on Injective can now begin to offer spot market trading for Polkadot assets such as DOT. Love when the protocols work together. Good for Polkadot, good for Cosmos, great for Injective. And next up, what about Ethereum? The total ETH staked in the Ethereum 2.0 contract continues to climb. Over 12.764 million Ethereum have been staked by almost 400,000 unique validators. This is 10.73% of the Ethereum circulating supply now locked up. And even just since the 1st of May, 19.8 thousand additional validators have staked and come online. What this means is more people than ever believe in Ethereum, believe in the future of this network, and they're putting their money where their mouth is. And next up, for Binance Token, BNB Chain has just released a year-long technical roadmap to develop their ecosystem. So the major areas of focus surround increasing validator decentralization, developing capabilities for governance via the BNB token, and deploying a number of Binance Chain evolution proposals. So BNB is trying to optimize. And just to get a little bit more specific, some of the more notable developments of the roadmap include the introduction of mainnet BNB application sidechains, maybe for scaling, with Meta Apes and Metaverse World, a near doubling of the number of decentralized validators to 41, still not that decentralized, but this would be a doubling via the Binance Improvement Proposal 131 proposal, and also successfully enhancing the block gas capacity of the BNB Smart Chain to 200 million in Q3 to improve the efficiencies of cost and speed. Good on Binance Chain, BNB token, for making these improvements, at least planning to. Let's see if they implement. That is the video. My name's Austin. Like always, see you tomorrow. But just a little reminder, Aaron and I will be in Austin, Texas. Promo code down below if you want to get your tickets, discount through us. We'll be speaking at Austin, Texas, Dcentral conference. So we will be dropping a few different interviews at the beginning of next week as our content. Just FYI, see you tomorrow.